Yeah.
I almost went to the gym like at halftime, and then I decided a real man wouldn't quit watching
Yeah.
7 hours of commercial free
Glad you
football.
stuck through.
A real man wouldn't go work out.
Mm-hmm. You don't
I got
better
Taco Bell
yourself on,
instead.
you don't better yourself on Sundays. Sundays is when you give your body up to football.
Yeah,
and you
it's the
can
Lord's
do whatever
Day.
you want to it.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows,
As here's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
but it ain't about how hard you hit.
Hit out the park, no question, with all due respect.
It's about how hard you can get hit.
And you might need, at some point in your life, a little massage on your ass.
And keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Moving Forward podcast, Sunday night edition. We just put our bodies through the most grueling 6 hours that a man can go through. I dare anyone to do what we did, our heroism, our bravery, to watch 7 hours of commercial-free football. And I didn't enjoy it, but I did it. Do it every week.
We did it for the people.
I do it for the grind. I do it for the hustle.
Yeah.
I almost went to the gym like at halftime, and then I decided a real man wouldn't quit watching 7 hours of commercial free
Glad
football.
you stuck through.
A real man wouldn't go work out.
Mm-hmm. You don't
I
better
got Taco
yourself
Bell
on-
instead.
You don't better yourself on Sundays. Sundays is when you give your body up to football.
Yeah,
and you
it's the
can
Lord's
do whatever
Day.
you want to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have shocking Sunday scaries right now. All my fantasy football teams are losing. I have like 7 teams. I'm going a shocking 0-7. All my bets didn't hit. And yeah, I feel the crippling anxiety and depression just coming on to me.
Yeah, I feel the exact opposite. I've hit all my bets this weekend. There was a FanDuel boost today for each team in the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock schedules to at least score 1 touchdown. And the Lions scoring that touchdown with like hardly any time left was absolutely electric. And then they lost, which will segue us into the Lions losing. And I'm happy they lost. And I stand by that fact because I also had a parlay with the Vikings winning. So I'm happy.
It's one of the stupidest takes Lions fans can say is when they lose and then they just say, oh, well, we're going to get the number 1 pick.
It's okay. Like, I get where you're coming from. If you're like, okay, well, like at least we're going to be like in contention for the first pick again. But like to say you're happy that they lost, like especially like the way that it happened again is just disgusting and filthy, and you should feel dirty.
I do feel dirty. I feel dirty every day, like a dirty little slut, and I love it.
Okay.
It's gross.
I took a hard left turn, but yeah, I would say this is going down as one of the most heartbreaking seasons of all time, and is being capped off by Dan Campbell crying in the post-game press conference. It was horrible to see. He's got much passion. I mean,
they're gonna win next week.
Who do they play next week?
That will crush you.
I guarantee that they win next week.
They play the Bengals next week.
Oh, they're not gonna beat the fucking Bengals.
Joe Burrow might be hurt. He ended up.
Oh yeah, I did see he has like a throat contusion or something.
Yeah.
Still, I feel like the Bengals without him, because like it's not like we can't even score points anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was our thing for a minute. It was like, oh, we have an okay offense, but now it's dog shit.
Goff is atrocious.
Goff sucks. I'm so far out on Goff. It's unbelievable.
He just had so many stupid plays today, and he's addicted to turning the ball over. And we could have realistically had that game in the bag. Like Minnesota was not playing good. Offensively and defensively, they're like mediocre. They're nothing special. They're not like they used to be. So we had no excuse for not scoring points and moving the ball a little bit better. And even when we started to do it, Goff would just kill us with a dumb turnover or a dumb play. Like
I feel like Goff, like every time he goes out on the field to like lead a Lions drive, he like sticks his hands in a tub of Vaseline just to make sure like he can't hold on to the ball.
You know how like gymnasts warm up with chalk? He warms up each drive with a stick of butter and he rubs it all over his hands and then he gets ready for the drive. That's the only explanation for what he does. Like I don't get how he can drop the ball so many times.
Jared Goff, like goes into the cooler behind the bench and he takes out a pound of bacon and just rubs his hands all over it, squeezes it, and gets all in there with his fingers.
The kitchen of each stadium brings down their grease traps, and he just dunks his hand into it like he's dunking his hand into like a cooler for water and just swishes it around a little bit, and then he takes the field.
It's like he gets off on fumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it was the rainy game when they played the Packers in week 2, somebody probably tried to hand him a towel and he goes, "A towel for what? My hands are perfect the way they are.
This is my dream.
Don't you
game.
dare put that towel on a ball."
This is exactly what I want.
Then he loads back to throw it, and then he just drops it on the ground like he did against the Packers. So,
yeah, he's definitely a good filler quarterback to get us to the number 1 pick because we're just grinding for that number 1. We're excited. We're inventing new ways to lose every week. Like, this is the only way to describe it at this point.
I think losing by field goal, like scoring it's just crazy to me, the progression of the NFL. At one point, like I used to feel pretty safe, like scoring with a minute left to go and letting a team try to drive down and score. But you leave a team any more than 30 seconds, like them getting into field goal range is zero problem at all.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I have a little nugget here, real quick, to build on that. This is a tweet I saw a minute ago. The Lions are the first team in NFL history to lose twice in a season on 50-yard field goals on the final play of regulation.
There it is. See what I was saying? Inventing new ways. We're breaking records left and right on ways to lose. So that's awesome. Yeah, it just seems like there needs to be double zeros on the clock in the Lions to score for me to have any comfortability with them having a lead at this point. Like, it's inevitable. It's like the feeling I had when they scored 35 seconds. I literally said this to my girlfriend. I said, "Okay, let's see how they're going to lose this time." I just said it out loud. Like,
dude, it was a foregone conclusion. It was like it was already going to happen.
You should have heard the tone of my voice. It was like monotone and defeated. I don't even know what kind of voice came out of me when I said that, but it was just, I knew it was going to happen. You just know at this point.
No.
Dude, I feel like Martha Ford, I feel like somebody in the Ford family like fucked over a witch doctor a couple generations ago. Like they were supposed to watch their cat or something and they let it die. And then they just got a curse that their football team in a couple hundred years would lose every game in the most painful way possible.
I think they like walk under ladders to get into work every day. That's the only way to describe this at this point. And we offered suggestions a couple episodes ago after the Justin Tucker game. We have curse breakers, and they did not follow.
We have not been reached out to by the Detroit Lions on a couple of different ways to break these curses.
Did we ever tweet that? Or
I put out an entire clip and I tweeted it at them.
We got to
it seems like what they're doing instead of like having a seance or an exorcism or whatever in Ford Field is like Sheila every morning when she wakes up, she like jumps onto the top of her bed and then she body slams a mirror and then crawls under a ladder and then
buys 3 black cats.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
Her house
she runs a black cat nursery in her backyard.
She breeds black cats.
She definitely seems like the type of old person to have like hundreds of black cats just around, or just cats in general. They're probably littered in the press box and shit.
Yeah.
She gifts them to I bet you the first day of training camp, she gifts them to every single player and coach.
How they break in the rookies? That's like their rookie punishment.
Take care of my black cat.
Take care of a black cat for the entire first season.
I just want them to be good so bad.
I do too. I mean,
it sucks.
They are for what they're putting on the field, like the talent they're putting out there. That defense is like second and third stringers only. There's like not one.
It's all dog shit.
Yeah,
it's all dog. Without Okora, like every player on that team is terrible.
And they're staying in games. They're just playing hard, man. Like
it seems like people really love playing. Yeah, like you can't really say a whole lot about Dan Campbell, like X's and O's yet, because he hasn't played in any game meaningfully, really. Other than, it was a ballsy move to go for 2 because he knew that they were going to lose if he didn't do that.
Yep.
Good call. It just sucks. I mean, we're getting good stuff to build off of, but we need to win these type of games to get some sort of positive momentum for the next year. And that's why I also don't really agree with the rooting for the losses thing, because We're trying to build a culture here. We're not trying to just hang our hat on getting the best draft pick every single year. We need to start building a winning culture and a winning environment. And we can't do that.
Look at Jacksonville.
Fucking losing tragically. Exactly.
Jacksonville's 0-5 too.
What changed? They've still lost 20 straight games. They're 0-5.
I mean, part of that's Urban Meyer, but
They have the grind factor. 1, 2, 3, grind.
that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
At least we're not Jacksonville. We can hang our hat on that at the end of the day.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on.
Let's get out of this.
Depressed.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's move on to real or fake NFL. I wrote down a couple of different teams that are either like 3-2 or 2-3. They're right on the cusp. Not really 100% sure what they're going to be. The first one I want to get to today is the Broncos. They looked really good in the first 3 weeks. They lost today to the Steelers on the road. Kind of an ugly game. It felt like a game the Steelers must win. The Broncos are currently 3-2, and their 3 wins are against the Broncos. The Broncos' 3 wins are against the Jets, the Jaguars, the Giants. And then they've lost to the Ravens by 16 points. Now the Steelers by 8. So the Broncos, real or fake?
Fake.
Fake.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't like Teddy as a starting quarterback. Cortland Sutton's been good, but like Jerry Jeudy's been out. I just don't think like you can lose to this Ben Roethlisberger if you're legit.
Agreed.
I know they got Mike Tomlin and they got a ton of playmakers, but
They've had 2 straight opportunities to prove that they're a real team, and they've failed miserably at both of them. So you can't really say anything about it at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders, also 3-2. They started the season by scoring 33 points, 26 points, 31 points, and then they lost 28-14, and then now they just lost to the Bears 20-9. The Raiders, real or fake?
this one's I think semi-fake. I don't really love them. I think Derek Carr came back down to earth today. I think the Bears defense is better than a lot of people are giving it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I made a big brain move today and picked them up off the waivers before kickoff. It was a great play. Yeah, huge brain move right there. Still losing the game by 40, but
nice.
I think they're fake.
Yeah, I'm going to call them fake as well. I think they were never real to begin with. We all kind of saw this coming. Derek Carr always starts off hot and then comes back down to earth as the mediocre quarterback that he is. So, yeah, the Bears team at home, you should win that game, especially against a rookie quarterback. And against the defense is really good. But, they're on their backup running backs. They don't even have their best player, David Montgomery. And they had chances to win, too. They just didn't play good. So, I'm going to call them fake.
All right. Moving on to, I think everybody's going to say this team is real, but they've kind of had some tough luck. In week 1, the Browns lost to the Chiefs by 4. They've beaten the Texans. They've beaten the Bears. They beat the Vikings last week and then just lost probably one of the best games of the year so far to the Chargers by 5. What do you think of the Browns? I'm pretty sure you guys are going to say they're real. They've had a pretty tough schedule, but they haven't been able to win the big one yet against a really good team this season, and they've had multiple chances to. They blew a pretty big lead today. So Browns, real or fake?
I think they're real for sure.
I think realish. Yeah.
Their wins have not been as impressive as like their resume should show at this point, but they played every team really tough, and I think they have a great coach, a decent offense, and a great defense. So if they can get Baker to play above average, I think they're going to win most games.
I think Baker everybody outside of Baker is like championship level. I think Baker is just kind of like some of the throws he makes are disgusting.
He's got a torn labrum, so
isn't it in his non-throwing shoulder?
It is. So
okay.
Don't forget that. All right, moving on to a team that did lose today. We're actually going to be between 2 teams that played each other today. But the next team is the Panthers, who are 3-2, started out 3-0, have lost the last 2 games to decent teams, I guess. They beat the Jets in week 1. They absolutely smoked the Saints in week 2, beat the Texans. Then they lost to the Cowboys by 8 and then lost to the Eagles today by 3. What do we think on the Panthers? Where do we sit on them?
I think their defense is awesome, and I think they're going to be a lot better when they get Christian McCaffrey back. So I think they're, again, semi-real.
Semi-real this time. Okay.
Yes.
I think they're real.
Yeah. I like them a lot. I was just going to ask Jake what his were.
Oh,
like what your
What my
You're
thoughts
the
are
fan for
on the team. Oh, the Broncos are 100% fake. I agree that the Raiders are semi-real. The Browns are definitely a real good team. The Panthers, I also agree, are semi-real. I think they're missing one more key receiving piece. They have DJ Moore, but I think they need one more like key receiver. They don't really have a tight end that sticks out to me. And then losing Curtis Samuel last year kind of sucks, but their defense is really good and it's going to get better. Did Stephon Gilmore play this week or was he not able to play? Is it not till next week?
He didn't play yet.
Okay, so they're going to get even better when Stephon Gilmore plays too. So I definitely think the Panthers are semi-real, and I think they're in a division where they can win some games because I'm not 100% sold on the Saints, and the Falcons might have won today, but I don't feel good about the Falcons. So I feel good about the Panthers. I feel okay. I think they're trending in the right direction. Like I just wish the Lions would base their rebuild kind of off what the Panthers are doing. I like Matt Rule as a coach, and I think that they're building their team the right way. So I do like the Panthers. I think they're semi-real. Yeah, they're turning in the right direction.
I kind of weirdly like Sam Darnold too.
Yeah, he's
I
kind
don't
of
know why.
electric
He had a
player.
tough day today,
Yeah.
but
He did have a tough day today. That's why I'm saying kind of, because if you would have asked me last week, I would say he's amazing. But this week he sucked.
yeah.
Best runner in the league. Best running quarterback in the league.
Yep.
Let's move on to the second to last team we're going to do. Let's do the Eagles. The Eagles are now 2-3. Big win today over the Panthers. They fought hard last week against the Chiefs, got blown out by the Cowboys, barely lost to the 49ers, and then they beat the Falcons. I don't know how to feel about this team. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is an NFL starting caliber quarterback either. They have no receivers. I do like Jalen Hurts. He puts up fantasy numbers. I just don't know if he's a good quarterback on a winning team. So I'll start with the Eagles. I think they're probably the second best team in this division, but I do think that they're fake.
I think they're real. I really like Jalen Hurts.
I'm on the cusp of it.
I
like
really
Jalen
like
Hurts
Jalen Hurts, and they have Devontae Smith, who's looking like a beast.
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
look
he
good.
is.
7 catches today, 77 yards. Jalen Rager's still there. He's playing a little bit better this year. I mean, Hurts he had his bad moment. He didn't really play too good today, but he's been playing solid.
The thing about him is like he played bad in the first half, but like when it came down to it, he made plays. Like
Yeah,
he scored. He made plays. He won them the game. So
I trust him in the clutch.
So do I.
Trust other quarterbacks in the same position. And I think in the modern NFL, you need a quarterback like Hurts. You need someone that can run and pass. That's just the way everything's trending. I think he's a better passer than people give him credit for.
I agree.
They do need to run the ball a little bit more because they just refuse to run the ball to Miles Sanders. They hate it.
Yeah, they hate it.
They conspire against him every single game because it doesn't make sense at this point because every time he touches the ball, it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they run the ball a little bit more effectively, and their schedule's been super tough. Sorry about that. But yeah, their schedule's been super tough, and I'm assuming they're going to have a couple easier games. Jesus Christ. My bad. But yeah, real.
Moving on to the last team, the Bengals, who lost in overtime today to the Packers. They beat the Vikings week 1, lost to the Bears, beat the Steelers, beat the Jaguars, lost to the Packers. So they've had wins over pretty bad teams, but a loss to the Bears, the Packers loss I can excuse, but a loss to the Bears, I don't know how I feel.
I don't know. I like Joe Burrow and I like Jamar Chase a lot. And they got Joe Mixon. I don't know. I really like the talent that they have. I just think they've had a couple bad breaks.
Okay.
Like they should have made that field goal in overtime. I mean, they've been getting.
They doinked twice. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their team a lot. I think they're off. Jamar Chase is the real deal.
Jamar Chase is sick.
Is an elite receiver, and Joe Burrow is looking like an elite quarterback. So as long as they stay healthy and their defense can play semi-okay, I trust them. Like the Packers, that was a great game. They played them pretty tough. So the Bears lost. I don't know. Maybe the Bears are better than we assume because
they're 3-2 now.
Yeah,
I think their defense. I think the Bears' defense is a good defense.
Yeah,
I think their offense blows, but
yeah, they're struggling to scheme for Justin Fields, like a very versatile quarterback. They're having a hard time scheming. I just the main thing about the Bears, to segue into another team that's either real or fake, just think the Bears' offensive line is just too shitty. It's just really, really bad.
Yeah,
Fields is running for his life back there. He can't do anything.
It doesn't really look like they're gonna have the weapons either.
No,
Like without David Montgomery, Allen Robinson's been bad. It just doesn't look like they have the offensive like firepower.
Agreed. Let's run thing before we wrap up the NFL. This is obviously we're recording this before the Sunday night game, so we don't know what's really going to go on there. Predictions for Sunday night: Bills, Chiefs. Thoughts?
Do a quick one. I'm going to say Bills by 7. High scoring game.
I'm gonna say Bills as well. But by 3. I think it's gonna be really close. I don't think the Chiefs defense is gonna be. I think the Chiefs defense is what it's gonna come down to. Like, can they get stops ever?
I definitely
I
can
don't know.
see Patty Mahomes having a big game today. Like they're kind of.
I can see both of them having good games.
Yeah, they're kind of getting like the recoil from them not playing as good this year as they have in the past. So we might need to respond to some people tonight. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be an awesome game.
Before the game starts, there's 2 boosts on FanDuel that I really like. Both Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill to have a touchdown was one. I like that. I think there's going to be a lot of points, so I think the opportunities will be there. And then also Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to throw 1+ touchdown in each half. So they got to throw
That's
a
easy
touchdown
money.
pass in each half. It's plus 350. Is that?
That one seems like free money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also do like the Bills. I think they're legit. I think their defense is just going to be better than the Chiefs defense. I think they'll be able to string a few stops. The Chiefs will probably get a couple. Game might start out slow, but I think it's going to open up a bit. So like the Bills. I don't like that we all like the Bills here. It makes me think that
I don't either. Somebody pick something else.
I'm hammering Chiefs money line as we speak.
Cool.
Okay.
Who's the favorite? Like, what's the line on this game?
The Chiefs are the favorite, I
having?
think.
It's like Chiefs 2.5.
2.5, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Interesting.
The Chiefs to be 2-3. That just doesn't seem right. It feels like they should.
No,
win.
it doesn't.
All right. Let's wrap this up and let's move on to college football talk. Sean, how right were we when we said Nebraska? Sneaky.
Very sneaky. They played hard. They're fighting for their absolute lives out there last night. Like I am hindsight, or not in hindsight, but in retrospect, I should have given them a little bit more respect when I was talking about them in the last podcast. I thought Michigan was going to come in there and send a message, but they played really well. And that was a tough environment to play in. I mean, I'm excited about this win. I think this is one of the best wins of the year by far. I think it was a better win than the Wisconsin game, in my opinion, because that place was rocking. Night game. I don't know what it is about night games. It always gets the energy up. And yeah, we just grinded that win out. And I couldn't be more happy. I was sweating. Like I was watching the game and in the line of the bar, just fucking on my hands and knees praying. So huge win.
Yeah, I had MSU and Michigan both to win yesterday in a boosted parlay. And I was rooting for Michigan and it felt wrong. But I was okay with losing if they would have lost. But I was like, I hedged my own emotional things. Like Michigan wins, I win money. They lose, I'm happy. So it's like, So
yeah,
good time.
It's a good way to look at things.
Yeah. And I just think Nebraska is sneaky good. And I think that they keep Scott Frost around, I think, for a little bit more. I think they might be building something. Not a huge fan of Martinez, their quarterback. He had some good plays, but he also has a lot of really bad plays. So yeah, I like their defense. Even though Michigan put up 32, it felt like they had to fight for every point they scored. If that makes sense,
Yeah, it really came down to Cade not really playing too good. And I saw in the last podcast, I thought if he didn't play good in the first half, which he didn't, they were going to pull him and put JJ in. And they never did. They kept him in. So that was good on Jim, just kind of keep the flow going, because I was thinking about it. And if they threw in JJ like halfway through that game, that could have gone really weird, because he had a couple of iffy plays when he came in the game. But he did have 2 electric plays. Like he's really good on his feet. So they're going to have some decisions to make in the upcoming game. I hope he gets a lot of run in the Northwestern game so we can really see what he's made of. Maybe see him throw a couple passes. But Cade scared me last night, especially with that pick.
Yeah, he did not look that's definitely the worst Cade McNamara game I've seen so far. And they still found a way to win. So
their running game just too good. Like Haskins and Corum are elite. Like that run Haskins had, where is it the 50-yarder at the end of the game when he hurdled that guy at midfield? Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
That was Le'Veon-esque right there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of Michigan still. I like that we're grinding out these games and we're not like giving up and rolling over when we like face some sort of adversity. But I don't know. We're still not beating ranked teams. So I think it's going to come down to Michigan State.
Better get ready. We're coming.
Don't overlook Northwestern.
Yeah, they're a tough week 1 game.
I'm looking way past them. Way past them.
Okay. Well, Mike, do you want to talk about Michigan State?
Yeah, I'll talk about Michigan State. That game was simultaneously like mind-numbingly frustrating and extremely exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Speedy Naylor, I mean, obviously 3 touchdowns, over 60 yards. You had Kenneth Walker doing he dapping up Speedy Naylor on that 94-yard touchdown. Matt Coughlin broke the school record for field goals. Peyton Thorne actually made really good throws.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, there was Mel Tucker at the end of the first half, unable to comprehend how a clock works.
That was bad.
You had all those special teams penalties where they kept getting backed up on delay of games. It was just Michigan State should have won that game by more than they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's good to see them getting those kind of mistakes out of the way, but I want them to not make them anymore.
Yeah, me neither. It's the first time in Michigan State school history that the quarterback's thrown for more than 300 yards, a receiver had more than 200 yards, and a running back had more than 200 yards. So
that's only the 5th time that's ever happened in FBS history.
Yeah, it was impressive. It's good to see. I think Kenneth Walker legit deserves Heisman buzz. I don't think there's a player who's played better than him in college football this entire year.
Wow.
I know that might be a homer thing.
It's bold.
There's real. I mean, who else?
Who else
is it really?
Played?
I think he's played better.
Yeah, but Michigan State's undefeated.
Yeah.
No, but he's had a lot of good games. I also do think he deserves Heisman buzz, but I don't think he's been the best player in college football.
Well,
there's an argument to be made that he has been, though.
I mean, he's had a lot of rushing yards, but it's there's players. I don't know. I think there's other good quarterbacks.
There's Matt Corral.
There's Matt Corral.
Kind of the only other guy.
I'm going to pull up the list right now. I think he definitely needs to be in the Heisman conversation. I don't want to get that off of that, but that was just a bold statement.
Well, I'm a Michigan State Spartan. I only see green.
Yeah.
Would you agree that he's been the best running back then in the country?
If you say Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty damn good.
He had a really good game. Yeah.
He did have a really good game, but Kenneth Walker still had 250 yards.
Yeah.
And a 94-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not the best. I think he's up there for the best running back by far, but we got Bryce Young. Desmond Ritter's played really good. I mean, Rattler. No, I'm just kidding.
Rattler's not starting another game the rest of the year.
Bad. He's not going to play. They're just going to play that Caleb Williams guy.
He was electric. I watched that Texas-Oklahoma game.
Dude, some of those throws that kid made were crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they were down, so a lot of them were fuck it, someone's down there somewhere. But, they
were still, good throws.
They were still good throws, yeah.
Oklahoma might sneaky become a powerhouse with him. I think they're going to be way better.
Do you remember at the beginning of the year when their defense was different and they were supposed to be a good defense? Wrong.
I swear that's the Texas effect, though. That game for some
that is the Texas effect.
Over 100 total points every single year. It's a law.
Yeah,
It
was that game was electric. I'll wrap up Michigan State. Rutgers is bad. They made Michigan State's their Michigan State's front 4 look like Georgia's front 4 on defense, the way they got at the quarterback. So in-state has a pretty bad defensive front. They're good at run stop, but they're bad at getting to the quarterback, and they got to the quarterback quite a lot. Cal Haladay is electric. Free Cal Haladay. Happy he came back. He played really, really well. I think he's a legit good linebacker. Yeah, our safeties are really good, but our corners are very bad. So
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I don't like the corners at all.
It's a scary place to be.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm looking up right now the Heisman watch, and everyone's putting both Blake Corum and Kenneth Walker within the buzz.
Corum deserves to be in the conversation right now, but
both of them are. Walker's odds right now are plus 500, and Corum's is plus 650.
Who's the best odds?
Walker.
At Corral.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
in college football.
Bryce Young's plus 120.
That doesn't make any sense after the game that just happened.
I can't.
on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I think that might not be updated. No, that's definitely updated. Wow.
It's got to be updated because Kenneth Walker last week was like plus 1,500.
Plus 125 for Bryce Young, plus 250 for Matt Corral. Desmond Ritter's plus 1,400. Oh, wow. I really read this wrong.
I was going to say plus 500.
I read this completely wrong. Kenneth Walker's plus 3,500.
Yeah.
Blake Corum's plus 5,000.
Oh,
It's not really a running back award. I mean, they mostly give it to a quarterback, but
They're going to need
you have to have an insane running back year to get it.
you got to be Derrick Henry.
And you got to be on an undefeated team. So that's
I think if one of them becomes undefeated, there's definitely going to be a conversation. And the Michigan State game's going to have so much on the line, like college football playoffs, Heisman buzz, Big Ten East championships. Like, holy fuck, we're in for a ride, boys.
Yeah, we are.
Does Michigan play Penn State this year?
Yes.
That's right after. I think it's like 2 games
Sweet.
after. So even if we do win that game, we got to go into Happy Valley. Fun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, State finishes the season back-to-back weeks with Ohio State and Penn State. So their last 4 games, I believe their last 5 games are Michigan, Maryland, Purdue, then Penn State, then Ohio State, then Penn State. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot going on. Do you guys want to talk about Iowa and Penn State? I feel like Penn State should have won that game.
Oh, yeah.
But Clifford went out, he got hurt, and Iowa kind of snuck away with it. Like Iowa, I didn't watch much of the second half. The first half, Iowa looked very, very bad. Their offense is very, very bad.
Iowa looks like Iowa. Like their defense runs and they move like extremely well. They're elite defense, but yeah, their offense is nothing to write home about. And I don't think you can win high-level championships with that sort of offense. I think that's just always been the case.
No.
And that's why they always stumble at one point or another in the season. Like their highest season was that one Big Ten championship game against Michigan State. Michigan State beat them just because they had a better offense. Like
Shout out
I feel
LJ
like the
Scott.
offense is always going to win out. And yeah, if Clifford,
I feel like now it is. Like now it's no longer defense wins you championships.
No, I don't know. I feel like I feel like it's a cakewalk for them over in the West. I don't think anyone even has a chance. And then they'll play either Ohio State, Michigan State, Michigan, or Penn State again. Like the 4 teams that are like really, really good. And it's insane that the Big Ten has 5 teams in the top 10. I think that will thin out obviously as they start to beat each other up kind of at the top the last couple of weeks of the year. So we'll see, but I feel good. Whoever is the Big Ten East champion, like if Penn State's healthy, whoever that is, I do feel good about their chances against Iowa, unless Iowa really figures some shit out.
The thing with that, the 5 teams in the top 10, 4 of those teams are in the Big Ten East. Like the Big Ten East is one of the best divisions in college football. Like
maybe
straight up
for conference realignment, so we don't keep beating
Might be.
each other and have
so annoying.
Every single year, the Big Ten championship game is so uncompetitive, and it's getting really annoying.
Yeah,
They need to slide
Like
Penn
Wisconsin
State
getting murdered.
over.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I mean, you
Or
got to
if they
keep
want some
Michigan
money.
State. They got to keep Michigan and Michigan State on the same side. They
And
got to
Ohio
keep
State.
Michigan State, Penn State, or Ohio State all need to be on the same side. You can slide over Penn State, I guess. I don't know what that really does.
Maybe
Whatever.
Nebraska will get better. And I don't know.
All right. Quick reaction before this recording ends up. Alabama losing. Did you guys see the girl get absolutely trucked trying to run on the field by the security guard who was escorting Nick Saban? It was pretty funny.
Best hit of the
I did
night by
not.
the Alabama team. All
Yeah.
right.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Cheers.
All right. No other reactions except for it's good to see Alabama lose. Makes
Yeah, I
me
didn't get to
happy.
watch the game. I was
I
working,
get to
but
watch it as well.
I love watching them lose.
I just saw the game-winning field goal. That was about it. But I do like watching them lose. It makes me happy to see Saban lose. But I know he'll use this as his rat poison, and then they'll go on to play an undefeated schedule, and then they'll play Georgia, who I think just keeps blowing out like ranked teams. Like they blew out Auburn, who I didn't think was bad. I didn't think they were good, but they blew out Auburn. I just think Georgia's by far, in a way, the best team in the country right now.
Yep.
Okay.
This Chiefs Bills game's about to kick off. It just kicked.
All right. I don't want to know.
You don't
All
want
right.
to know? You're not watching it?
I'm going to record and watch after we're done recording.
Okay.
Okay.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
As here's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
But it ain't about how hard you hit.
And I'd hit out the park, no question, with all due respect.
It's about how hard you can get hit.
And you might need, at some point in your life, a little massage on your ass.
And keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.